Hey everybody, my name is Seth Harkins. I'm the director here for Alcy Development Corporation. And today I'm going to show you how to spatchcock and bake a turkey and make gravy to go with it. I really like this recipe. This got me promoted to turkey chef in my family about 2 years ago. And they tell me it's just going to keep going. So I'm going to show you how to do some cutting on this bird before we put it in the oven. And it's going to cook faster and it's going to be juicier than just your traditional baked turkey. So let's get into it. So this is what they call a spatchcock. Basically, you butterfly the turkey, you take out the spine, lay the bird flat. All right, so we got our turkey opened up, and what we need to do first is take out the spare parts. So the turkey neck, I'm gonna chop it up and use it just to kind of render down to help make the gravy. We're gonna start making some cuts on this to get the spine out. All right, so we got through one side. We're gonna get some extra skin out of there. Ta-da! So we got the spine of that bird out. We're gonna use that later to kind of thicken up our gravy. Now, this is really the fun part. So I'm gonna cut out some excess skin. I'm gonna roll this guy over, get him smushed flat. Getting it flat is what's gonna make it cook faster and more even. And I'm just gonna push right here, almost like I'm doing CPR on the bird, and get that rib cage to start to smush down and flatten. Now, before we season this, the last thing I'm gonna do is take these wingtips and pop that down underneath the shoulder. We have done the spatchcock part of this turkey, and now we're gonna get it ready to go in the oven. So I'm gonna dry out the skin of this turkey. The skin is much better when you cook it this way. Okay. Now I'm just gonna season this. You can do whatever you want here. I just kind of dust it over with salt, pepper, rosemary, oregano. And I'm gonna use a lot of rosemary. That's the flavor that I really like. And you can use whatever else you think goes well with poultry. Okay, so what we're gonna do with these vegetables is get them ready to go. Grab a little bit of baking spray to go on this foil. You need to set aside about a cup and a half that you're going to use for your gravy later on. A small handful of rosemary. This is the flavor that I really like. All right, so we have all our vegetables ready. Now we're just going to arrange this turkey over it, add a little seasoning. It's going to go in the oven for 75 or 80 minutes, almost an hour and a half. See you later. Okay, so our turkey's in the oven. We're gonna start working on our gravy. So we're gonna go ahead and add our broth. We're gonna let this simmer here for 45 minutes. And then what we're gonna do is brown some flour. We're gonna use that to make a roux and then use that to thicken up our gravy. So here we go. What we have in this pan is about 3 tablespoons of butter. We just melted down. And then we're gonna start adding to that and cooking down adding to that and browning our flour just a little bit at a time. Okay, so that is browned up just a little bit. I'm gonna cut the heat off. We're gonna strain our broth over here, and we'll start mixing that back in to make our gravy. Heat up our butter just a little bit more. And what we're gonna start doing is ladling in this broth to our roux, and let it thicken up to make a gravy, but just add a little bit at a time, and then as you go, you can add it a little bit faster. All right, so we have added all of our broth back into our roux to thicken up this gravy. So that looks pretty good. Added a little pepper, and you can just do that to taste. Now we're gonna start checking with our thermometer. We're gonna start checking our turkey, or you can just cut into your turkey and see if the meat in the center of the breast is done. If the meat in the center of the breast is done, everything else is already cooked. Oh, Skin is crunchy. And looks like right there in the middle, oh, we're so close. So all kind of different ways to do this. The most common way is to separate the leg and the thigh together into one piece. And then if you want to, you can carve the thigh meat off. You can debone that and get the leg off, but I'm just gonna start working through it, starting with the leg and the thigh. All right, so we've gotten all the pieces carved off our turkey. We're left with all these bones and some good things that we can come through there and pick off. And then we're left with a platter. It looks like this. And then we're left with gravy. It has a lot of good color to it, pepper, different seasoning in there that we can add to our turkey as we need to. There you go. Happy Thanksgiving.